Hello, Aluxers, and welcome back. You know, people love throwing around random facts about the world like it's some kind of universal truth. But more often than not, they're just pretty words that tell a faulty story. Well, in this video, we'll be going over 15 lies the world is telling you and what the actual truth is. Welcome to Alux. Number 1. You need to work hard. Nothing can be achieved without hard work, right? But hard work has been romanticized to the point where it's almost to your detriment. You see, the world wants you to work hard, to be fully devoted and obedient. And this working hard is such a vague activity, someone can always blame you for not working hard enough. But look, here's the truth. What you are working on is so much more important than how hard you're working at it. You could be putting in 20 hours a day with 4 hours of sleep on the wrong thing. It wouldn't get you anywhere besides burnout. Saying that you need to work hard is like saying you need to chew your food. Of course you do, but what you eat is far more important. Number 2. Successful people are smarter than you. You might think the world is being run by remarkable people who are just way smarter than you. You could never be able to operate on their level. They figured out stuff you haven't. They know things you can't learn. But here's the actual truth. Successful people are not smarter than you. They don't have a special inherent ability to outperform you. Instead, they hit the right mix of skill, leverage, timing, and trial and error. And that's something anybody can do, regardless of their intellectual capacity. Number 3. Things will sort themselves out in the end. Sometimes they will by pure coincidence, but most times things don't sort themselves out in the end and you just get accustomed to your new reality. People have an extraordinary ability to adapt to any kind of situation being thrown at them. We somehow manage to survive in pretty much every context. So when people tell you that things will sort out in the end, what they're really telling you is you'll have to live with it. The truth is, the world revolves around action and reaction. You do something and something happens. Things don't just magically fix themselves unless someone else fixes them and you happen to be around when they do. Number 4. Your grades will shape your future. The current educational system is totally outdated. Grades are an artificial ranking system that doesn't translate into the real world. Your college education has little correlation to your job prospects. Look, it's not 1960 anymore. If you think anybody gives a shit about your little diploma, you're going to have a bad time. Fun fact, some of us here at Alux are dropouts. People care about what you can reliably do, not what a piece of paper says you can do. Education doesn't stop when you leave college. If it does, you're in trouble. Number 5. You can make something happen by believing in it. This idea comes from the belief that if you constantly think about something, you'll see related opportunities more clearly. People who follow this ideology usually end up living in make-believe worlds. You can think about starting a business all you want. It's not going to start itself, though. The only thing you should believe in is yourself and your ability to improve. Number 6. You can save your way out of poverty. The most common reason people can't escape poverty is because being poor takes up all of their time and they are mentally exhausted at the end of the day. Escaping poverty requires a whole lot of mental fortitude and hard choices, and saving money isn't one of them. On top of that, it's getting increasingly harder to escape poverty these days. We actually made a dedicated video on how to force your way out of poverty, which you can check out from the link below. Number 7. It's all downhill past 40. People used to live very similar timelines. Get a job, get married, buy a house, have some kids, start yelling at other kids, and so on. But times have changed. We figured out that everyone has their own personal timeline. You could buy your first house at 40 or get super fit at 50 just fine. It goes downhill only when you stop enjoying life and you don't take care of yourself anymore. Other than that, it's steady going. Number 8. You are in control of your own destiny. This kind of makes you entitled and arrogant. You believe you deserve to get something just because you said so. In reality, though, the real truth is you have the option to take control. It's not something true by default. This comes with responsibility and massive amounts of action. If you don't actively focus on the things you can control that will put you in a better position, someone else will take that control for you. Number 9. You can be anything you want to be. The older you get, the more real responsibilities you have, the more your window of opportunity closes. You may still manage to squeeze in, but it's going to be an uphill battle. The chances of you dropping what you're doing and becoming an Olympic sprint runner when you're 45 and have a family to support, they're significantly lower. The older you get, the more sacrifices you need to make in order to change the course of your life. If you start learning programming when you're 12, you're not sacrificing that much. If you learn programming when you're 40 and you've been working as a construction worker for 20 years, you're sacrificing your timeline. Just because, technically speaking, you can do anything you want, it doesn't mean it's always a good idea. Time either works with you or against you. Number 10. There's a plan for everybody. There isn't. If you don't have direct input, that bigger plan you think there is will be made by somebody else. You'll just be a replaceable part. Everyone is the main character in their own movie, and there's no higher power director out there giving out specific roles and instructions. You live your own life according to how you plan for it. You are wholly and solely responsible for it. Number 11. Money won't bring you happiness. That's like saying food won't quench your hunger. Sure, you could eat fast food 5 times a day and die at 40 from heart problems, or you could have a balanced diet that keeps you healthy for the long run. You see, there are 2 kinds of problems that one can have: money problems and life problems. Money problems are when you need to take on 3 jobs to afford rent. Life problems are when you can't find a passion to feed your soul. If life problems make you confused, money problems can make you straight up miserable. You can't afford to solve life problems if you can't solve your money problems first. Around 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. For the vast majority of people, more money will 100% make them happier. For the rest, it's a matter of diminishing returns. There's honestly very little difference in your life between having $20 million or $100 million in your bank account. And on that note, number 12. Happiness comes from within. On the topic of happiness, there is another lie the world is telling you. Imagine for a minute you're the last person on Earth. Everything is run by robots whose job are to make your life as easy as possible. Now, are you happy? Can you find that happiness from within? What are you happy about? Happiness will always come from other people. You are happy when you help others. You are happy when you share cool experiences with others. Think of the last time you were happy. Did it involve other people or not? The feeling of happiness doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's a reaction to an experience you did for others or others did for you. Number 13. Your parents know best. Look, the truth is your parents are just people, with all the flaws and shortcomings that people come with. In most cases, they try their best and you see them as figures of authority and safety. But they're just as confused about the world as you are, and in this day and age, maybe even more so. They're trying to figure out how things work just as much as you are, so you gotta take their advice with a little grain of salt sometimes. Number 14. A book isn't judged by its cover. Netflix invests millions into ranking their thumbnails because they found that artwork captures 82% of the user's focus. They even built their own AI to better optimize what every single individual sees on their homepage. That's because people will always judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a movie by its poster. First impressions last, and the way you present yourself to the world tells a story, whether you like it or not. Number 15. People don't really change. Your personality is a mix of environment and life experiences, along with some genetic traits and predispositions. And since you can't change your past or your DNA, in that regard, people don't really change. However, past your 20s, you become your habits. What you do every day starts to define you as a person. Breaking bad habits and negative conditioning and adopting newer, healthier ones is one of the hardest things a person can do. That's because it involves you to stop doing what you've always been doing and start doing something new and different without seeing immediate results to keep you motivated. Now, we said this is very difficult, but it is not impossible. You just need determination and consistency. And Alexa, for making it to the end, we've got one more for you as a bonus. You are enough. If someone tells you you're not good enough, they just might be right. Okay, look, harsh, we know, and you can get offended by it all you want, but it doesn't change the reality. There are some things you are not ready for. There are some situations you just can't handle right now. You could get angry at the world for not seeing this truly amazing snowflake that you are. Or you could do the work and see what it takes for you to become good enough. And lucky for you, we've made a video about the power of good enough, which you guys loved. If you haven't watched it yet, check it out right now. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the Sunday motivational video.